Okay, folks, hello and welcome to today's bi-weekly town hall. Thank you so much for joining. As always, we are live streaming and recording today's session, so if you get disconnected at any point, you can go over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@hospitable. Feel free to say hello to us in the chat. We will start off today's session with some product updates from ourselves, and then we'll move on to Q&A. You can also ask questions throughout the session. If you do want to ask a question, please try and use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen. It helps us keep track of all those questions. And we'll also have plenty of time at the end today for you to ask questions live on stage as well. So without further ado, we're going to go straight into some updates from our team, and I'm going to hand over to Andrew. Andrew.
Cool. Thanks, Miles. Yeah, let's start with connectivity. As Miles mentioned, today's more of like a traditional style town hall. So we're just going to run through kind of what we're working on, what's released, what's coming out soon, and let you know a good look at everything that's going on at Hospitable, starting with connectivity. So booking.com. So during the booking flow, after a booking is confirmed, guests are able to submit special requests on booking.com. The problem was that before, booking.com would only share these with you via an email notification. We had no way to access these special requests. That changed. So last month they released a new version of their integration that we updated to just recently, and we're now able to pull in these requests, which is great. You can now see them in the inbox. You'll still get those email notifications as well. So if you're depending on those are still there. But now your whole team can see them in the inbox, which is great. Most of these you can reply to just with text. There are, however, two that we're flagging here that booking requires you to go into the extranet to handle these. So these are things like alterations. So if they're requesting a date change or this cancel for less request, those you need to remember to go into the extranet to handle. You can't handle them from Hospitable yet, hopefully. Maybe that's coming soon. Let's switch over to Vrbo. So going back way to the 100th town hall on April 30th. I think this was our last slide, which is one more thing. We're doing a big official Vrbo integration this year. So I wanted to update you on that. We are slated this year to be one of the only new official partners for Vrbo. This integration will be what we refer to as like a full property management integration. Will be the source of truth for all of your data. This not only means a more stable, dependable connectivity to Vrbo, but it also means a much more capable integration. So all of the features maybe that we don't have there now, you'll be able to utilize with Vrbo. So things like, helping you with your guest reviews, requesting reviews from your guest, review replies, all those things we're going to be updating for the most part with this new integration. And critically, will be the merchant of record for payments on Vrbo. So those of you that have struggled, I think, in the past with maybe like payment terms and things like that and requests and payments failing and having no visibility on that within Hospitable, those are things that are just going to work once this happens. So we've made a lot of good progress on this just in the couple months that we've been working on it. We're mostly complete. We're planning on going into the certification process, hopefully starting next week. That part is a little bit out of our control, but if we move through quickly, that means we'll likely be starting a pilot sometime, hopefully early next month. And yeah, then good things to come for all of you that depend on Vrbo. And a quick message just on like Vrbo generally. So one thing that's happening there that I think some of you have been talking about is they are running a bit of promotion now. So just wanted to give this a shout that those of you that are interested, have some gaps in your occupancy. You can go into Vrbo now, go to your calendar settings, promotions, and get featured on this last minute deal. This is a new thing that they're kind of, I think, putting a lot of marketing energy into. So you're getting out in their email distribution for people that are looking for discounts, and you can get like all the merchandising, how it's referred to, those last minute badges and things. That's there as long as you set at least a 5% discount in that last minute. So just so you guys know, wanted to shout that and help you maybe boost one of your channels. Okay, lastly on connectivity, the big project for us this quarter is this listings management journey. What we mean by that is being the source of truth for your listing content. This week, we're starting to roll out what for us is a very new user interface in the property section of Hospitable. We had to do this. This is kind of hard to explain, but becoming the source of truth, it would be very complicated for us to do that, especially for those of you that are used to managing all of this data on various channels and having perhaps different values, things that are out of sync. we didn't want to force update those for you. So we needed to give you visibility of what those values were on your different channels. And so we've been spending a lot of time on the design for this. You'll be hearing more about this to come. Right now, it's just starting to roll out to some pilot users, but the idea is we can keep our design, the interface, simple for you, where most of the time each of these attributes is going to have the same value for you across channels, but some of those you like to change up. So in this example, in the screenshot, maybe your cleaning fee, for whatever reason, you want to have it different on a different channel. We want to enable that as your channel manager, but we don't want to just pollute the interface by showing every single channel for every single attribute. So we're excited about this. Again, it's still a little bit early, but you'll be hearing more about this as we go. And again, this is critical for us being the source of truth. The next thing that we'll do, like the next kind of area of the property section, we'll be giving you more control of your cancellation policies, particularly with the option to set derived policy. So like a non-refundable booking policy on Airbnb, on Direct, on your different channels. Those we know are very important for helping you with conversion, giving guests the choice to pay a bit more for a refundable policy or save some money, but pick a non-refundable policy. So we're excited about those and we'll be updating you on those very soon. Let's switch quickly to then dynamic pricing before I pass. No major new updates here, but for those of you that maybe missed the last town hall, I just wanted to kind of cover everything we announced there. So what is available since that last town hall? Everyone who's using dynamic pricing, and again, this is included for anyone with a current pricing plan, no additional charge. You now have the ability to set dynamic min stays. What that means is you tell us what your ideal stay is, you tell us what your minimum midnight stay is, and then we help you kind of blend those over your booking window. So we'll set your ideal stay far in the future, and then for those gaps in your calendar that aren't getting booked, we'll start to gradually lower that to your minimum stay as the booking window closes. We're also resolving those orphan nights for you. So anytime a gap is created between reservations, as long as it's above your minimum midnight stay, but maybe below your ideal stay, so it would otherwise be non-bookable, we'll lower that to make it bookable to help you close those gaps. We also rolled out rule sets to all users, and that's about 1,000 of you have started using it in the last 2 weeks, which is pretty good. We don't expect everyone to be a heavy user of rule sets. Some of you are, you know who you are. But what we did is we imported all those from Airbnb when you opt in to start using rule sets in Hospitable, and they give you capability. So for dynamic pricing, that was critical functionality we were looking for people that wanted to adjust certain days or ranges of days to set a custom markup, a custom markdown, a custom min price, a custom max price over dates, in addition to discounts and other availability settings. And they work across all of your channels now. It's not just an Airbnb rule set, it's a rule set for your Hospitable calendar. So those about 1,000 users that have already started using them, they've already created, in addition to the ones we imported from Airbnb, 426 new rule sets on Hospitable. So we thought that was pretty cool. And then on the dynamic min stays, we've got 437 properties now that have started those since we launched 2 weeks ago there. Otherwise, what's coming next with dynamic pricing? We're going to give you a couple more controls. So the conservative, recommended, aggressive options for your seasonality, as well as give you more control over how we do your far future premium, your markup on future dates. We obviously have some of those built into the model, but the feedback has been, I need to be able to control that. So we're going to do that. And continuing on that line, I think the realization we had just this week talking about it is we've got access to quite a few controls now, especially with the ones that we're going to add in the future. And there's even maybe more controls that we can do that we don't have an interface for yet. So we're working on the idea to auto-tune your settings. So particularly those of you that are already using another dynamic pricing solution, you're probably happy with the way it's working. It's a bit of a slog to set that up in Hospitable and get close to what you want. I think we could do that for you without asking you to figure out how the configuration works. I think we could analyze your pricing and we could interpret what your preferences are for your seasonality, month to month, the different decisions you've made, the time that you've spent setting that up in one platform. We probably don't have to ask you to do that again. So we're going to work on a feature to basically, you can tell us, hey, I like my pricing the way it is. Why don't you auto-tune it for me? And I think a lot of you that haven't maybe recognized your pricing when you turn on our preview, if you haven't invested the time to try and tune it, I think a lot of you can get close now if you wanted to. We'll auto-tune it for you. And when we launch that, we'll reach out and we'll say, hey, try us again for the first time, I think we can do a pretty good job tuning our model to match what your expectations are. So we're excited about that. And I will now stop talking and pass to Abby to talk about direct.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, so starting off for direct, we've been putting a lot of effort into improving alterations. And the reason why we've been doing that is because many of you have shared feedback and questions about how alterations currently work for direct. Specifically, when you process an alteration, we will automatically calculate the price difference for you, but we don't do a great job of explaining why the price is changing. And that lack of transparency can lead to frustration for you and for your guests. For example, we might hear that you added an extra night and now your guest is getting a refund for some reason. Maybe there's a discount in there, instead of having to pay more. And beyond just the transparency aspect here, we really want you to be in the driver's seat when it comes to having control over the pricing of your alterations. Maybe you've worked out a special deal with the guest, so you'll be adding an extra night on to the reservation at a discount, and you should be able to apply that easily and have control over the price of the alteration when you're creating it for the guest. So, to solve this, we are starting by introducing alteration requests. So now, when you make an alteration, instead of processing that alteration immediately, we're going to create a request that will be sent to the guest. And the guest will then review and accept the alteration in the guest portal. And they'll be given a detailed breakdown of the price difference. If you add nights to the alteration or add nights to the reservation, those dates will also be held until the guest accepts the alteration. And you'll be able to decide how long you want to hold that request until it expires, between 24 to 72 hours, just like you can for a custom quote, for example. Um, the team is working on the finishing touches for this now, and we're going to start rolling it out over the next few days, starting with beta users first, and then to everyone probably within the next week. So you should see this new alteration request flow coming very soon. Um, but that's step one. So we're then going to take it a step further, by actually allowing you to modify the alteration price. So when you go to make an alteration, we'll give you a side-by-side comparison of the original reservation and the new one. And you'll actually get to make changes to the accommodation price, to the fees, to remove discounts or add discounts, before you actually send that alteration to the guest. So that's coming next. And then later, once we've kind of set the foundations with this alteration request feature that we've been building out, that you as a host can initiate, we'll then open up alteration requests from guests as well. So guests will be able to initiate an alteration directly from the guest portal, which you'll then be able to review, adjust if needed, and approve. So that'll be coming later on. And we'll share more updates as we get closer to those releases. Next up for Direct, we now support site analytics for self-hosted sites. So this is actually a little bit of a gap for us. For hospitable hosted sites, you can already track visitors to your sites, and track conversions using Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, or Facebook or Metapixel. But on self-hosted sites, we ran into some challenges, particularly with tracking guests seamlessly through from your site into our booking flow. But we were able to resolve those challenges. And so now self-hosted sites will have the same analytic capabilities as hospitable hosted sites, which means that you can measure site traffic, conversions, booking performance across the full funnel for your site. So if you want to get started and enable this, you can today. You just need to go into your self-hosted site. There will be a marketing tab there for you, and you'll add your Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, or the Pixel ID, and you'll be ready to go. And then finally, some updates on tax remittance for direct premium. So if you are new here, because sometimes when I talk about tax remittance, we always get the question, what does this mean? We are, for direct premium, we are helping you calculate your taxes, but we are also in some places in the US actually remitting those taxes for you. And we have had the goal this year of expanding coverage of our tax remittance for direct premium. So starting September 1st, we're going to be adding a couple of new taxes and jurisdictions. So we will be adding Arkansas, which is going to include Arkansas state sales tax and state lodging tax. And also effective September 1st, we're going to be broadening our coverage in states where we already remit state level taxes, but not all local taxes. So this expansion will include specific jurisdictions in Florida, New York, Alabama, and Texas. And instead of listing all of those counties and local jurisdictions, I'm actually going to encourage you to review our documentation for your state to see exactly which taxes we remit. Brandon, our accountant in residence, is on this call, I think, in the chat. So hopefully he can just drop the link in there so you can check out how tax remittance works for your state. But as I mentioned, this is a broader goal for us this year. We're committed to continue to expand tax remittance. We're working towards all 50 states. And at the same time, we are also, working on local jurisdictions where we can. So we'll continue to provide updates in town hall. And yeah, more to come there. And that is up for direct. So I think next is Nick probably to talk about AI.
Thanks, Abby. Yep, a relatively quick but meaty update for AI today. We're saving some pretty cool announcements for the next town hall in 2 weeks. But today, there have been a few good changes to Copilot over the last few weeks. One of the biggest ones is that it now supports visual graphs. So like you can actually ask it for comparisons, of data across time and between properties, and will actually give you a visual representation in the form of a chart. And that's usually much easier to read than just some text in a kind of half-baked table, which is what we've had so far. So a very good visual upgrade. But also along with that came the capability to process more complex calculations to do with financials, with calendar data. And speaking of calendar data, that is actually part of Copilot. As of recently, you can ask it about various data in your calendar across all your properties, comparing settings, comparing dates, comparing properties. Try and ask it whatever you want. We think we've done a pretty decent job so far, but obviously the devil's in the details. So do try it out if you have access to Copilot, and let us know like what's working, what's not working. You're also able to update certain pricing and availability settings. So for example, you can update various fees like cleaning fee, resort fee, and so on, across multiple properties at the same time. So rather than having to go in the user interface and go like one property updated, another property updated, you can ask Copilot and it will and just tell it what you want it to do across multiple properties. It will go ahead and do it for you with a confirmation, right? There's always going to be with these actions kind of a summary of what you're asking and its interpretation. And if that's all correct, you confirm it, and it goes ahead and does it. It will never actually just automatically do it for you without a confirmation. Other stuff, you can update availability windows, turnover days, min max days, and so on. So do check it out. And another thing that was recently fixed, let's say, more than anything, is the ability for your team members to also access Copilot where relevant with the correct property permissions. So if like a team member is able to access and see data for a particular property, but not others, that will now also be reflected in Copilot as well.
Nick, there's a question in the chat about who has access to Copilot at the moment.
Yes, Copilot is for now a Mogul only feature. So if you're on the Mogul plan, you have access. If you want to try out Copilot, you can nicely ask the team. They can maybe enable it for you in a trial period. If you're curious about Mogul and are tempted maybe to upgrade and want to check out some of the features, we can probably hook you up. But that is the answer. Right now it's Mogul only. And I think that is more or less it for AI. Like I said, tune in next week. There's going to be some pretty big updates. I'm not going to spoil them here. But next up is Emily with Mogul.
Probably should have put this slide before that one. It would have made a little bit more sense. But hey, everybody, good to see you guys. I'm here for some Mogul plan updates, starting with owner stays. So we are in the final days of finishing up an owner stays feature. I'm super excited about this because we've gone further than just simply flagging a manual reservation as an owner stay, and we're actually taking into full account the unique scenarios that you find yourselves in when your owners want to book a stay. Those are things like, do you need different preparation time because your owner, you just want to make sure that you have extra time maybe to clean the property? Do you want to maybe disable smart lock codes for your owner because they've got a key, they own the place? We are taking into account how to charge the owner for a cleaning fee if you do that. We'll deduct it from the payout that they're owed on the next statement so they never feel like they need to pay, but it is getting taken care of. And of course, being able to filter by owner stays in metrics as well. So again, we're in the final days of this, and we will roll this out to our Mogul users in the next couple of days. Up next is the ability to actually allow your owners to book their own stays from the portal. We're going to need to take a couple extra things into account for this, like the availability that your owners see and the calendar and what types of permissions you'd like to give them. We know that not everybody wants their owner to be able to book stays on their own, so we'll let you decide what it is that they're allowed to do. So yep, we'll keep you posted. After I finish talking, I will paste a link in the chat. So if you're interested in this, you can upvote that feature request and we'll continue to keep you posted as we make progress on this. Next, I will talk about owner payouts. I'm going to keep this one light because we are just starting the initial research for this. So it has been a big request that we've heard time and time again, and it's coming up a lot more often now that we actually have owners portals. But it's clear to us that our users who are property managers and need to pay out their owners need an easier way to do this. We've heard from our customers that oftentimes this is one ACH payment at a time, and for people who have hundreds of properties. Someone posted on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, they have 100 properties and they had to do this manually for every single owner. That can take up a huge chunk of time and be very error prone, and ultimately isn't something that you should have to do manually in this day and age. So we have a couple of opportunities for you to get involved if you're curious and want to inform how it is that we built this. So one, you can join the conversation that we're having over in the community. And two, you can book a call with me directly and we can talk face-to-face about how it is that you're managing owner payouts today. What do you love about it? What do you hate about it? And what would you like to see us do to take that off your plate moving forward? And you can do both of those things. So I'll paste those links again in the chat so you guys can follow along, and we're excited to bring that feature to you soon. Passing off to Miles.
Cool. Thank you very much, Emily. Okay, so now moving on to a few new integrations that we have in our apps page. So first off, we have the Right to Rent Collaborative. So the Right to Rent Collaborative is an independent organization dedicated to providing associations across the US with the capital they need to advocate policy solutions that strengthen the short-term rental industry. With this optional integration, you have the ability to directly support it by donating $2 per reservation. So this amount would automatically be collected from the payment method that you add during your enrolling process, with the Right to Rent Collaborative. You obviously can have the option to pass on that cost to a guest. So you could just add that $2 fee to each reservation. Obviously, if you go and scan the QR code there, you can find out a few more details about the association and how to set up that fee if you would like to support it. So moving on to a couple more app integrations. Next up, we have Summer OS. So Summer OS you can use to research markets, project revenue, measure performance, and grow your portfolio without switching between tabs and spreadsheets. So knowing where to buy short-term rental is just as important as what to buy, and Summer OS helps you to figure that out. So you can integrate with Hospitable to quickly connect your existing portfolio to the platform and basically learn more. So as always, scan the QR code, check out the link if you'd like to learn more about that new app integration. And then finally, the next one is Mastermind tech. So Mastermind Tech offers a real-time monitoring system for noise, cigarette smoke, occupancy, temperature, humidity, and a bunch more stuff. And they also have a 24/7 call service, ensuring that kind of rules are maintained by the guests as well. So again, if you want to learn more about that new app integration, you can scan the QR code and visit the link to learn more. You can obviously also visit that apps page inside your Hospitable account. Cool. So that's it in terms of integrations. From me next, we're going to talk about events. So a couple of events to talk about. Another call out, and I talked about it 2 weeks ago, but another call out for our in-person workshop. Just a reminder that that is happening in Orlando. So if you are Florida based, you might want to check that out. That's happening on September 15th. It's a full day event to really kind of become a pro with the Hospitable toolset. Derek is going to be leading that and a bunch more of our team members. So if you want to come and see a few of our team members in person, learn a lot more about the platform, grab lunch with us, have some snacks, you can find out more about that event by scanning the QR code and yeah, checking it out. It's a limited capacity event. We're already well over 50%. And yes, as Andrew says in the chat, also available to non-Florida residents, just a little easier to get to if you are in Florida. Cool. And that's it for in-person events, but we do have a couple of online events as well, which are totally accessible from everywhere in the world, which makes them super easy. So next up, next week, we have our online workshop with Airbnb. So we're going to have Airbnb on and Andrew from our own team talking about some new and exciting updates there with our connection, but also some updates on the Airbnb side in terms of how to improve your listing and get ranked higher. And then for our town hall in 2 weeks' time, we're obviously going to be in the same place as always, same time, but we're going to be focusing on operations and diving deeper on some much anticipated updates there. So that's going to be an exciting one. I think that one should be one where we get lots of attendance. I think our record for a number of attendees for one of these town halls is 599. But I reckon that we might be able to try and beat that one. So tell your friends, tell your co-workers, tell your cleaning team to come and check that out with us. Okay, and that is pretty much it for updates from us today. So before we get into the Q&A, I'm just going to share the usual links there. If you've got any feedback for us, we're going to check out our changelog. If you want to go and read our support articles, everything is there as you need. And then we will move on to some Q&A from the audience. So as always, if you do want to ask a question live on stage, you can do so. So if you go down to the react button at the bottom of your screen, click in there should be a raise hand button. If you click that, that lets us know that you want to come on stage to ask a question. And I will slowly but surely move through the list. Okay, we have a couple of people. So Pam, inviting you on stage. Pam, hello. Do you have a question for us, Pam?
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
So I have a couple of questions for the people that rent in Mexico and for me in Tulum. The first thing is that the security deposit. It's being very hard for me to find a good app in your platform because the charge automatization says that it has it's broken or something like that. So what do you advise me to do for the security deposit?
Sorry, Pam, did you say you're based in Mexico?
Yes, in Mexico,
Okay.
and I'm interested on securing the security deposit because I had some broken television broken via a hospitable reservation, and I had to pay it myself because the guest didn't agree on paying anything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, currently with the security deposits that we manage on our platform, we don't have a solution for Mexico, unfortunately, yet. Right now, it's just in the US, UK, Australia, where we have direct premium. We are trying to expand that access. I'm not sure, actually, I'd have to check. Maybe I can do that after this. Whether Mexico is on that list of like the next ones. It's going to be about 46 different countries, but it's based on our payment processor. And I don't know if anyone else is aware if we have other integrations right now that support security deposits in Mexico. I don't know if we do. I think
charge automatization does work, but when I put the connection, get started, via the Hospitable website, it says that it's a broken link. So I'm afraid of the information that it's gathered by this platform, that it's not safe for my guests or
Okay.
me.
Hey Pam, I will check that link that when you click get started, that could just be a broken link on our side. However, if you're already using Charge Automation and you have an account, you can also initiate the integration from them as well. So I'd encourage you to go to their website to either create an account or log in there and then try the integration from that side, and that should work. But either way, I'll look into that link. We have a lot of users using Charge Automation. So.
Okay, thank you. And for taxes, how can I add taxes to the reservation in my own reservation?
Yeah, are you talking about with Direct Basic? The
Yes.
direct booking? Yep. So you need to go into your property settings, or you can also add them at the account level. So if you go into your hospitable settings, there's a properties and taxes area there, and you can add whatever taxes you need collected, and we'll add them then to the reservation. So when the guest checks out, they'll see the taxes included, and then you'll be able to track them also in your reporting, so you can see how much in taxes was collected and paid to you.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Cool. Thank you very much, Pam, for your question. Okay, moving on to our next person. We have Andia. Hello, Andia. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi there. Do you have a question for us, Andia?
Yes, quick question. I'd like to first of all thank you for all of the updates in these town halls. A couple of town hall meetings ago, we discussed, or it was discussed about having the possibility of issuing some type of booking confirmations or invoices for direct bookings or manual bookings. And I'd just like to follow up and see if there's been any updates to that, or are we still, or is it still in the works, basically?
Yeah, hi. It's still on our roadmap. We don't have an update yet in terms of timeline. But yes, we do plan to allow you to create invoices. We actually want to be able to make those self-service through the guest portal as well for both direct and for manual reservations. Right now, you may already know this, but for direct, our support team can create invoices for you as well. So if you need to create an invoice for a specific guest, reach out to support and we can help you. But it is on a roadmap to be able to automate that for you.
Okay, great. Now, as far as for direct, I can contact Hospitable and you all would help me with that. If it's
Yes.
a manual booking, that's not the case though, right? Still just have to do it
Yes.
manually?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you very much. Hopefully it gets pushed up in that ladder.
Cool. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, and moving on. So yeah, just a call out as well. If you do raise your hand, there is going to be, I'm going to invite you to talk essentially, and there will be an unmute button appear. You'll have to click that when you're invited on stage. Just saw a question there in the chat. Okay, Richard, inviting you on stage to talk. Hello, Richard.
Hi, how are you today?
Good, thanks. Richard, do you have a question for us?
I do. I have a question about I currently have 4 inquiries on my main page of my hospitable that we've already resolved. Is there a way to get those inquiries to disappear? We don't need them anymore. We either accepted or rejected the bookings, or pre-approved the people, but we currently still have the 4 inquiries sitting on our homepage, and I just didn't know if there was a way to get rid of those inquiries on the homepage.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. It sounds like it's maybe a bug. Jen, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, you said me. Yeah, shoot us a chat from your Hospitable account. There's an action we can run on our backside. If there's some old ones hanging out there, we can just clear those for you, no problem.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Awesome. Thank you very much, Richard. Okay, Sheila, inviting you on stage next. Hello, Sheila.
Hi guys, thanks for hosting this. I know we have the direct booking website capability, and That's definitely not necessarily my wheelhouse. Do you guys have any like in-house people that offer their services to help you build out your direct booking website?
Hey,
Yeah,
Sheila,
hi
Derek
Sheila.
here. Oh, Abby, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Derek. We're probably about to say the same thing, so go for it.
In fact, we have team members who are dedicated to help you do that. So, Sheila, I don't have your last name. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So, yes, but more important than getting a direct booking site is getting a direct booking strategy. So that's what I'll send. If you're willing to give us about 90 minutes, we need to collect email addresses, get a website set up, and show you how to get, because if you just post a direct booking website, will not result in direct bookings.
Right.
So I'll send you my email. We have a 10-step process that we will go through. And for anyone who wants to set up that direct booking workshop, you can email me and we'll have our team set up that call. That is free of charge. And we'll get you setting as long as you'll put in the time. Typically about 2 calls or 90 minutes, whether it's 1 call or 2.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. I will send a follow-up email this afternoon so you have my contact information as well.
For the introverts out there, there's also a lot of resources online. So if you check out our YouTube channel or you check out hospitable.com and our resources section there, we've done a lot of Q&As in the past. We've done a lot of like strategy sessions. Most of those are recorded. They're available from our website or from our YouTube channel. So there's lots of material there for those of you that are more interested in just like a self-help style.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for the addition, Andrew. Okay, next up, Pedram, inviting you on stage. Hello, Pedram.
Hello, everyone from Düsseldorf. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello,
Okay.
welcome.
I have 2 questions. First question, is it possible to also, or you said that on your roadmap to make invoices available from direct and from manual bookings on the, on the like a self-service for the guest to download it via the guest portal? Will it also be possible to generate invoices for booking and Airbnb there too, if we get this kind of bookings?
I believe so. We do have this request come in. For us, it feels a little bit strange for us to be generating invoices for Airbnb. But I think we hear this particularly from European hosts who need like a VAT receipt. So that's to be determined. I think as we get into the scope, I think direct team is probably going to start with this. It makes the most sense where like on the platform where we're the merchant of record, we're processing the payment to start there. And then we'll look at how to expand that. So on our roadmap for kind of towards the rest of this year and into next year, we're really focused on internationalization as well. So we started that by talking about multi-languages on direct sites. We're going to be looking more at European needs. So if like a VAT receipt is part of that, that's something we're going to be looking at probably towards maybe Q4 or early into next year, and hopefully have a solution for you there. But I don't have that confirmed yet.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm a European house, and that's exactly what I need, a web
Okay.
invoice. And a second question is it possible, because we are at the moment, we are building this kind of guest portal ourselves because we need it urgently. And we are using hospitable webhooks to kind of build our own guest pages to be able to give them the invoices, have a self-service invoice. We will probably be finished before you guys. So in order to do this, it would be great for us to be able to send historic data through the webhooks. We can already do that, which is great, through the hospitable webhooks, but only the confirmed bookings will be sent over the webhooks. Is there a possibility to also send canceled reservation through the Airbnb webhook historic data feature or some other way?
Hey, you can, I don't know if you could get canceled reservations via API. I actually need to double check on that. There's obvious reasons why we're not sending webhooks for canceled reservations that have already been canceled, but like if it was accepted, you'd get a reservation, and then if it's canceled, you'd get a webhook. But I need to check on that. So let me grab your email, and I can reach out to you to see if the canceled would show in the API.
At the moment, they don't.
Gotcha.
It would
Okay.
be great if there was a way for us to do it, because we need to also process past reservations. So I mean, at the moment we will get it, because if a reservation is canceled, the webhook will send to us, but the past ones we don't get. Where can I send you my email?
I will put my email in the chat for you.
Thanks a lot.
Pedro, while we have you, just a question. Have you ever reached out to Airbnb and asked them for VAT receipts? I'm just curious why this is something that they don't provide, but we would.
Yes, I have done this many times.
And what do they tell you?
It's not a really big help, to be honest. Even their costs that they calculate us, it's even hard to get a VAT receipt for the cost from Airbnb. They only provided for the last 6 months. But I mean, Airbnb is not very helpful at this point. That's why we taking so much energy to set this up ourselves with N8N. If you guys know this, it's kind of a pain to set this up ourselves, but we really need it, and we cannot be reliant on Airbnb for that. Or Booking.com. The same with Booking.com. They also don't provide that. It would be their task for my point of view, but they're just too big to care, I guess.
All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing that perspective. Thank you. Thank you, Better. Hopefully we can help you soon.
And sorry, I'm going to jump in one more time. You can see canceled reservations in the regular metrics to download from there. I know it's not via webhooks or API, but if you download all that you see in metrics, we would include canceled reservations there. So that might be an interesting stuff.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pedro. Okay, moving on to Amy. Hello, Amy. Welcome on stage.
Hi, thank you. So one of the issues that I'm having, and I think it's going to continue to be more pervasive as Airbnb forces us to loosen up on our cancellation policies, is I'm getting more cancellations. And I have my settings so that the dates are unavailable by default, because I like to plan when I open up my calendar, make sure that I can plan maintenance and events that are going to be really popular and things like that. But in Hospitable, every time I get a cancellation, I have to manually open up those dates. They stay blocked off. And so I've reached out to customer support, and they say it's because of that setting that dates are unavailable by default. And I just don't think that's a good compromise, just because it just doesn't make any sense that I can't have both. And in Airbnb, when I just had Airbnb and not Hospitable, if I got a cancellation, even though dates were unavailable by default, it would still open up the dates of the cancellation. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, you were bringing up some of the most complicated conversations I think I've had on this product. Jen, do you remember what the resolution was on this?
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about, Amy. So yeah, what we're doing is defaulting to the availability status, which if it's unavailable by default, when a reservation cancels, we default to that status, which is unavailable. But what you and some other hosts have expressed, they'd rather default to the last known status of that before the reservation was canceled. So before that reservation was booked or canceled, it was obviously available. And so some hosts would rather be like, ignore my current availability settings, make it open instead, because that's what it was before this guest booked. And that's just not what our logic currently does. It looks to the setting instead of whatever it was before. So that's the discussion we've had, Andrew, which I'm thinking you're probably thinking of is do we want to change our logic? Because some hosts want that, but others don't. And so how do we make something that makes sense to folks?
Yeah, it's just tricky because it's sort of like leaves us in a pickle. Like I just, leave all my dates open indefinitely forever, or I have to manually. So it just kind of puts us in a bind.
Yeah, you can change your availability so it's like a window, so it's not all open or all shut. It could be like open for 6 months, open for a year. So that might be a way to do that, and then just like manually block dates if there are ones in there that you don't want booked.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And maybe I would say the other thing is like, if we get enough, demonstrated need that we should actually make a setting for this, we would consider it. But we need to understand, because right now, like we can't choose between one side or the other. But if enough people tell us, so if you want to, upvote this on feature base on our feedback request, it will get attention if enough people tell us this is important. So maybe we can do something to help you, but no guarantees.
Yeah, I think as Airbnb makes you, have a more lenient cancellation policies, I think it's probably going to be rising. Where before, with my cancellation policies, I didn't get very many because I was very strict. But we don't have that choice anymore.
Yeah, that's something we're going to cover, I think, in upcoming town halls is some of the changes that are coming. You've probably been messaged by Airbnb about that. And it's one of the reasons why we want to do this cancellation policy manager that I mentioned in the connectivity section. And hopefully being able to have both a refundable and non-refundable policy is going to help you because maybe, you'll have quite a few people choosing non-refundable policies and therefore that should help you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay, thank you very much, Amy. Next up, we have Alexis. Inviting you on stage, Alexis. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Do you have a question for us?
Okay. Well, thank you very much for everything you do, first of all. What I'm gonna say is probably more of a feature request. We need an ability to instruct our artificial intelligence integration to maybe pre-prompt certain behavior that we want the AI to do when the AI is, for example, suggesting a review text. And here's the specific example. Every time that I have a recommendation from the artificial intelligence for a review or a response to a review, the AI always says, for example, oh, John and his guest were great guests and they were, super clean and, 5 stars. And that, the fact that the AI is disclosing that the guest stayed in my property with somebody, we consider that a breach of their privacy.
So Alexis, can I very quickly answer this? Literally an hour ago, we rolled out a fix to ensure that the AI no longer does this moving forward. So
Okay.
as of an hour ago, it should only be the primary guest by name, nothing else. Yeah.
Yes, you are the Alexis that was on that feature request that I think was created and resolved in 24 hours about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I tried to put it as part of the knowledge base of the properties, but it didn't take it. But it's thank you very much for implementing that.
Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much, Alexis.
I should mention there were some Coldplay memes shared based on that. Yeah, we understand the situation with the privacy there.
For sure. Sweet. So we have about 10 minutes left. We have one more person with their hand raised. If anyone else has a question, we can probably squeeze in a few more than that. But right now, inviting JQ on stage to ask a question. Hello, JQ.
Hello, my name is Jonathan. My question is like I have a second booking.com connection. So the first one is successful. So what I did was I have a property with 2 dwelling units. I created 2 different property under booking.com and it's fine. I can communicate and everything. The next one I tried was a hostel back in the Philippines, but now it's rooms. I tried just to get Hospitable to connect. It is able to connect. I was able to change prices, but I cannot text back. I cannot push a text to booking.com. Is it because of how I set it up? Do I need to change it to property?
I'm not sure, Jen, unless you're able to help.
Yeah, shoot us a chat from your account. So if you've connected a booking.com listing to us, you should be able to send messages within Hospitable and have that go into booking. No problem. You should see that just fine and vice versa, right? If you send a message on booking, you should see it in Hospitable. So if you're not, shoot us a message and let us know which guest you were trying to send the message to, and we can look at that with you.
Oh, yes. Okay, sure. Thank you very much. Before I do the painful way of changing my booking.com.
Yeah, don't change anything. Let's just look at it with you. Hopefully it's something super simple.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan. And thank you, Jen. Okay, next up we have Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Welcome on stage.
Hello, thank you. So I put this in the chat, but I was wondering, we have a property in Florida, and I'm a little confused when you say that you're remitting taxes in Florida. If we have direct premium, does that automatically happen, or is there something we have to do to activate that? Because my husband has been still paying our county and state taxes.
Yeah. Hey, this is Brandon. So currently in Florida, we remit all of the sales tax, the local sales tax and the state sales tax. So we do that for you for direct premium. So we'll collect that from you and then automatically remit that on your behalf. And then we just added a few specific local county taxes. So if you look at the help article I just sent out, you'll see
I
specifics for
did.
the few counties. And so we are looking to expand in other counties as well for local. It just takes a little bit more effort since the regulation there's a little bit more tricky. So
Mhm.
we are looking to expand there. So if you're not noted under there that it's not specific, those specific county level lodging taxes are not remitted, then those would still be the responsibility of you, and they'll still be passed through to you, and you would still have to file those.
Okay, yeah, he has been. I just was confused because I was hoping we weren't being doubly paying the tax. So I would put in a vote to have Walton County. I'm sure you have a lot of properties that are in Walton County. Not that it's an easy county to navigate.
Tracy,
No, I totally understand. Go ahead. Sorry, Andrew.
Tracy, the other thing you can do is you can check on your reports from the metrics area, and we'll put the status of the taxes there, and so you'll see like the ones that Brandon is referring to in the county taxes. Those are only starting from September 1. So even if we were in your county, we probably wouldn't have been, and you'll need
Okay.
to just kind of track those. I think we're contacting everyone as we add people. If you have a property in the county that's added, we're going to reach out to you and let you know the change of that status. But you can also reference your reports so you know which reservations were required for you to do the pass-through taxes and which ones have started being remitted by us.
Okay, great. So you will send an email to notify us if that is going to change in our county.
Yeah, if there's a change in your status, we'll notify you, and then yeah, your reports are your source of truth on which reservations were processed under which tax regime.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much, Tracy. Okay, folks, we don't have any more hands raised right now. So if you are an attendee and you would like to ask us a question, go down to the react button at the bottom and click raised hand. We'll just double check if there's anything unanswered in the Q&A while we wait. Oh, there we go. We've got a J Ford. Oh, no, gone again. Had been there. Okay, we got a John. Hello, John. Welcome on stage.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Hello?
can.
Hey,
Hello.
this isn't a question. I just wanted to say this is my first year doing short-term rentals, and I've been using Hospitable. It is a fantastic product, and I appreciate you guys doing these town halls every week. They've been very helpful, and yeah, looking forward to being a long-term customer of you guys. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
John.
John. You got the stage. What can we do better? Is there something you're missing?
Hey, is there something I'm missing?
Yeah.
There, some things I've kind of bypassed and need to look more into is some of the AI features. Just with the auto response, I still find myself, um, taking my responses and refining them in my like Chat GPT agent that I created. But I think for the most part, like the functionality, it's very intuitive, the product you're making. And I've been on a few of these live streams where you take feedback and I just see how quickly you guys resolve issues. And I think that's pretty phenomenal for a company of your size to do and just continue to keep the customer first. But I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for asking. And
Yeah, hold on. I think
provide
Nick
some.
might maybe have some suggestions for you.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
less suggestions, more of a question, actually. So since you're saying that you're taking what Suggested AI gives you and then putting it through ChatGPT on your side,
Yep.
probably it's making it sound more like you, right? Rather than factual corrections.
You got it. That's exactly
Yeah.
it. Yep. So
Okay.
I built this like GPT based on my like style of communication,
Yeah.
how we host, our policy. It has like all of our refinements. And so that's really what it's doing.
Yeah, so like giving you like a little bit of a behind the scenes look, like it's a challenge for us to strike the balance between a really detailed AI analysis that like deeply understands you across like all the data we have on you and something that can give you a draft within like 5 seconds. Like, it's very hard to balance those things because, like, yes, you can take whatever's generated, you can feed it to ChatGPT, but like you've taken the time to set up a lot of stuff specifically for you there already, and like we have to do that basically on demand for every single customer. So
Yeah.
it's always a challenge, and like we're still working on improving those things. That will improve over time, but yeah, the main thing that I wanted to know was basically what changes you're making, and since it is tone of voice, that is kind of the thing that we've heard probably more often than other things in terms of like what's not great, maybe in some cases with suggested AI, but it should improve over time, especially with you interacting within Hospitable. So we get more and more messages being sent from you, and we automatically kind of process those behind the scenes to feed that into future messages that are generated with suggested AI. So basically, the more you use the inbox, the better it should get for you.
That's great. That's good to hear, Nick. Let me ask you this real quick. If there was a place to do, like for example, I have like our SOPs and like our house manual, trying to train our GPT to automatically respond based on like what's in the house. Like one question I get often is, hey, do you have an iron or is there a steamer in the house? And our GPT now is looking through our house manual and responding with, yes, it's located in the laundry room above the dryer. So is there a future build that includes maybe some customization where the owner, property manager can upload our SOPs, house manuals, all that?
I'll do you
So
one better. It's not a future state, it's already there. So if
it's
you
already there.
if you go to your property details, there's a knowledge hub section sidebar. Go into that, you can upload a PDF or even manually add data there, or connect to TouchStay account if you have that. We'll pull in those details again from PDF or whatever source you provide, and basically create that in our backend for the AI to consume, and like basically what you've done with your GPT is basically the same thing. So future suggest with AI draft will reference that like wherever relevant.
Okay, I'll do that this week. I'll try to upload our content and see how it begins to respond. Thanks, Nick.
Let us know.
The one drawback of making a lot of features is we have to communicate on them. So product marketing manager's job is never done.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, John.
Thank you very much, John. We might just squeeze in one more. We're tight on time, but Sam, if you've got a quick question for us, we will try to help you. Welcome you on stage, Sam. Hello. Oh, hello, Sam. I don't think your microphone's working. Okay, we're gonna have to move on, unfortunately. Okay, Jack and Shelley, hello. Do you have a question for us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, so this is Jack here. A lot of questions about AI, but I had another quick one before. We've also created an agent that does some sentiment and some automatic responses. I wanted to hear a little bit about roadmap for that. But first question is, for cleaner notification in the native solution, we'd love to be able to have the cleaners check a box to say, we've finished the property's clear for the next guest. And then perhaps create a workflow that notifies the guest potentially that the property is ready for entry. And of course, it would need to integrate with smart codes and things like that as well in terms of a workflow. I'm hoping we could do it without having to go with one of the app's integration partners like Turnover and some of the other ones. But any comments about how we might be able to say that the property's ready when it's done? We came from another platform several years ago that had that capability that when it was done, we got a notification that we could trigger another notification from there. Hopefully
Jack,
that makes sense.
What are you doing in 2 weeks' time?
Hanging out with you, I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to talk about operations next town hall.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for the amazing segue, Jack.
He's not a plant, I swear. Not a plant.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we are going to have to call it time there. As Jack and Andrea alluded to, we are going to talk all things operations on our next town hall. So please do come check that out if you're interested in learning more. You can go to hospitable.com/town-halls and you can check out our calendar there to make sure you get the link. Cool. Thank you very much, everyone.